Hello everyone, Pam Grier, the legendary queen of blaxploitation cinema, the woman who broke barriers, redefined beauty standards, and embodied raw power at a time when Hollywood rarely made space for strong black women, has always seemed larger than life. From Coffee to Foxy Brown and later Jackie Brown, she became an icon, a symbol of resilience, independence, and fearlessness. But behind that fierce persona, Pam Grier carried secrets that few ever knew. Secrets that reveal a lifetime of pain, loss, betrayal, and survival. For decades, fans have seen her as untouchable, the ultimate screen goddess who kicked down doors, both literally and metaphorically. Yet, as Pam herself has finally confessed, her real life was far darker and more heartbreaking than any role she ever played. Her darkest secret, as she's now revealed, wasn't just about Hollywood's cruelty or the price of fame. It was about the unimaginable suffering she endured long before she became famous, the personal demons that haunted her even at the height of her career, and the resilience that kept her alive when the world around her tried to destroy her. Born Pamela Suzette Grier in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in 1949, her early life was far from glamorous. Her father was a military man, and her mother worked tirelessly to keep the family together as they moved frequently due to her father's service. On the surface, she seemed like any other shy, intelligent young girl with big dreams. But behind closed doors, Pam endured one of the most traumatic experiences any child can suffer. At just 6 years old, she was assaulted by multiple boys while babysitting for a neighbor. That moment, as she has described in her memoir, Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts, shattered her innocence and left scars that she would carry for the rest of her life. It was her first lesson in how cruel the world could be, especially to women, and especially to black women, whose pain was often ignored or silenced. Pam never told her parents immediately. She bottled up the trauma, learning to wear strength as a mask. That mask would one day become her most famous trademark. But even then, it hid deep wounds. Years later, when Pam moved to Los Angeles to chase her acting dreams, she encountered a new kind of danger. Hollywood in the late 1960s and early 1970s wasn't a welcoming place for black women. Roles for them were either non-existent or insulting, maids, victims, or nameless faces in the background. But Pam's presence was impossible to ignore. She had an aura of authority and sensuality that directors found magnetic, and when blaxploitation films exploded onto the scene, Pam became their defining face. Movies like Coffee, 1973, and Foxy Brown, 1974, turned her into a cultural phenomenon. She was sexy, strong, fearless, and unapologetically black at a time when that combination terrified Hollywood. She became a symbol of empowerment for women everywhere. But what fans didn't see was how those same films also trapped her in a stereotype, one that Hollywood refused to let her escape. Pam would later admit that while she was grateful for her success, she often felt exploited. "They sold my body before they sold my name," she said. Studios used her image to make millions while she struggled for respect behind the scenes. She wanted to be recognized as a serious actress, but most producers saw her only as a body, not as a woman with talent, intelligence, and depth. "I was objectified," she once revealed. "I was strong on screen, but powerless in the industry." Yet, Pam refused to let bitterness consume her. She kept working, choosing roles that allowed her to maintain dignity, even within a system designed to diminish her. Then came love and heartbreak. Pam's romantic life was as turbulent as her career. She had relationships with some of the most famous men of her era, including basketball legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, comedian Richard Pryor, and musician Freddie Prinze. But behind those glamorous headlines were stories of pain and betrayal. Her relationship with Richard Pryor, in particular, nearly destroyed her emotionally. Pam fell deeply in love with the comic genius, believing she could help him conquer his addictions. Instead, she found herself caught in the chaos of his drug-fueled world. "I loved him," she confessed, "but his demons were bigger than my love." Pryor's erratic behavior, violent outbursts, and infidelity left her emotionally shattered. "He broke my heart, but he also broke something inside me." It was another reminder that even when she played the hero on screen, she couldn't always save herself in real life. But the darkest chapter of Pam Grier's life was yet to come. In 1988, At the height of her career revival, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cervical cancer. Doctors told her she had only 18 months to live. The news hit her like a thunderbolt. After surviving trauma, exploitation, and heartbreak, it seemed cruel that she now had to face death itself. But Pam refused to give in. Instead of accepting her fate, she turned to holistic healing, changed her diet, and embraced meditation and spirituality. Against all odds, she beat the cancer, a miracle she attributes to faith, determination, and the will to survive. "I was given 18 months," she said, "and I turned them into decades." Still, the experience left her forever changed. When you're told you're dying, you see the truth about everything: who loves you, who doesn't, what matters, and what doesn't. Pam's survival was nothing short of extraordinary, but it also exposed another harsh reality: how Hollywood treats women, especially women of color. Once they age, roles dried up, offers stopped coming, and the industry that once glorified her body now acted as if she no longer existed. But Pam didn't fade quietly. In 1997, Quentin Tarantino brought her back into the spotlight with Jackie Brown, a role that earned her Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild nominations. It was the comeback of a lifetime, and the recognition she had always deserved. Yet even in that moment of triumph, she revealed the loneliness behind the success. "I didn't have children. I didn't have a husband. I had my career, and it had taken everything from me." In more recent years, Pam has been more open than ever about her darkest secret: the cumulative toll of all the trauma she endured. "People think strength means you don't cry," she said in an interview, "but I've cried more tears than most people will ever know." She admitted that there were times she considered walking away from Hollywood completely. She moved to a ranch in Colorado, where she found peace among animals and nature. "I had to heal from a lifetime of pretending to be unbreakable," she said. "The truth is, I was broken a long time ago. I just didn't let anyone see it." Pam Grier's life has been a journey of contradictions: strength and vulnerability, fame and isolation, power and pain. She was the first woman to play the hero in a male-dominated industry, yet she often felt powerless behind closed doors. She was the picture of confidence, yet she carried invisible scars. And while she inspired millions of women to fight for their worth, she was quietly fighting for her own. Her darkest secret, the trauma that shaped her, the heartbreak that nearly destroyed her, and the illness that almost took her life, isn't just a story of suffering. It's a story of survival. Today, Pam Grier stands as one of the most respected figures in Hollywood, not just because of her iconic roles, but because of the honesty with which she's faced her past. She has used her pain to empower others, especially young women who've experienced violence or rejection. "You can't choose what happens to you," she says, "but you can choose how you respond to it." And that perhaps is her greatest legacy. Fans are heartbroken by what she endured, but they're also in awe of her courage. She is a survivor in every sense of the word, a woman who lived through horror, heartbreak, and health battles, yet never stopped fighting. The smile that once graced movie posters in the 70s now carries a deeper meaning. It's not just a sign of confidence, but of victory over unimaginable pain. Pam Grier's darkest secret may have left the world speechless, but her strength leaves it inspired. Because in the end, she didn't just survive, she triumphed. And in doing so, she proved that even the toughest women bleed, but they also rise again, stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever. Thanks for watching.